Morning guys, I hope you can hear me properly. I shifted location this morning. It's a bit chilly out, to avoid the wind noise and just to give you a better view, different view. This is one of the irrigation dams, so I thought this would be a good place. There was something on my mind for a couple of days now, and it's about the death and the killing of unborn human beings. I'm just going to give you my perspective, biblical perspective, and I hope you guys can take something from it and understand what I'm trying to say. Because Satan mimics God in so many ways. That's why he's called the great deceiver. So yeah, let me get right into it. Okay, so the words of Jesus at the Last Supper ring out with eternal weight. He says, "This is my body, which is given for you." He speaks them on the eve of his passion, fully aware that within hours that same body will be scourged, crowned with thorns, nailed to a cross, and pierced by a lance. His declaration is not a claim of tyrannical ownership, but the most radical act of self-donation in history. "No one takes my life from me," he says, "but I lay it down of my own accord." John 10 verse 18. The body he calls mine is the very body he will allow to be broken so that the world might live. Ownership for Christ is inseparable from oblation. Possession is ordered towards gift. Every womb that ever sheltered a human being once sheltered him. The Word made flesh, and in that same womb he practiced the first movement of the self-emptying that would climax on Golgotha. Now listen to the counterfeit, the serpent's mimicry. He also says, "This is my body, and I will do with it whatever I want." The same possessive pronoun, wrenched from its cruciform meaning and turned into a charter for absolute autonomy, where Christ, my body, means I give it away so that you may have life. The new slogan means, I will kill whatever inconveniences me inside it, even if that something bears the image of the God I hate. Can you imagine? The irony is suffocating. The very people shouting, my body, the loudest, were themselves once the inconvenient occupant of another woman's body. They escape the forceps, the saline, the dismembering curette by sheer chronological accident, and now wield the same weapon against the next generation, hiding in the same dark, watery sanctuary that once protected them. They brandish the right to do to other what, had it been done to them 9 months earlier, would have silenced their voices forever. This is Satan's ancient sleight of hand. Subtle at first, then monstrously brazen. He began in Eden with a whisper that twisted God's gift into a thing to be seized. You will be like God. He continues in every age by taking the language of Christ and inverting it. The Eucharist is my body given for you. The abortion culture is my body taken from you. One is the bread of life broken for the multitude. The other is the bread of death demanded as a private right. The devil doesn't need to invent new words. He simply teaches men to say the same words while meaning the precise opposite. And because the counterfeit uses the vocabulary of freedom, victimhood, and compassion, my body, my choice, trust women, reproductive justice, and so forth, it slips past consciousness like poison in a chalice that looks like wine. Now, Herod is the prototype, the first public servant of this lie. When the Magi announced that a child has been born who is king, Herod hears the intolerable truth. There is a body that does not belong to him, a life that escaped his jurisdiction by growing for 9 months under a woman's heart. His answer is the slaughter of every male child under 2 in Bethlehem. The dragon of Revelation stands before the woman in labor, eager to devour her child the moment he is born. Revelation 12 verse 4. Abortion is simply Herod's massacre, democratized, privatized, sterilized, and funded by taxpayers. The same draconian hatred that once hunted the infant Christ, with soldiers now hunts him with clinics, with courts, with slogans painted in pastel colors, and set to focused group music. And the hatred grows bolder. What began as a whispered exception, only in case of rape, incest, life of the mother, has become a sacrament celebrated in shouting, lit by pink lights and government buildings, defending with a religious fervor by politicians who receive communion minutes after voting to keep the killing legal up to the moment of birth, and in some places weeks beyond. Satan no longer hides. He marches in the streets wearing the stolen garments of rights. And those who chant, "My body, my choice," little realize they are echoing the primordial rebellion, non serviam. I will not serve. I will not give. I will not let another life interrupt my plans. Christ fled from Herod as an infant because his hour had not yet come. But his hour did come, and on the cross he stretched out the same body that once nestled beneath Mary's heart, now pierced and elevated, so that every child ever conceived, those welcomed and those slaughtered, might see him, the true meaning of the words, "This is my body." One meaning leads to life everlasting. The other meaning, the lie that the body is a fiefdom rather than a gift, leads only to the abyss, dragging both murderer and victim with it. So, today, while it's still today, choose this day whose words you will speak when you say, "My body." One voice says, "Given for you." The other voice says, "Taken from you." Only one of them is telling the truth. And only one of them is love. Have a blessed day.